This is the full story on how I broke my shin. It was crazy. This happened over a year ago. It was October. Remember that it was on a Thursday because my friend picked me up from school to practice. Practice is going very well so far. We get to the last event. We're on floor. This skill right here. I'm gonna go layout, punch, double front, right? And I keep just warming up and not going layout, front, tuck, and not going for the double front. And I was like, I'm gonna go for it this turn. Or I was like, I'm gonna go for it the turn after this one. And I do that last turn of my warm up, and my friend's like, Moses, just go for it. And I'm like, all right. But at the same time, it's like, I can do it. I've done it before. There should be no problem. And I go, and I do the layout, and right on the punch, it didn't really hurt. But then I yelled, I don't remember yelling that hurt, but I have the video. And I yelled, oh my God, that hurt so bad. Something like that. And when I yelled that, it was just fear. It didn't actually hurt. It was just fear. And I was terrified because I thought my whole leg of my shin was just in half. Because that's what I felt, just a snap. And I panicked. I was jumping over, and I kind of like sit down like on there, so scared because season was coming up in like not that long. And then I tell them to call 911 because my shin is broken. I knew that for a fact. And when I called my mom, my teammate called my mom, and then he gave it to me, and then I was talking to her, and she was freaking out, which if I was my mom, I would be freaking out too. I literally told her that my shin snapped in half. And she's just like freaking out and stuff, and they're like, we're coming. I was like, my coach is calling ambulance or whatever. And something that I didn't find out till afterwards is that my teammates and my coach, when I was jumping over, they thought that I was kind of just overreacting and that I was fine. And also on the phone, when my teammate called, my mom just did not suspect anything. She just thought that they were just messing around because my teammate was on the phone. And then she heard me crying and freaked out. And it's just swollen, and it looks like I got 2 kneecaps. It was crazy. It was starting to hurt, right? I wanted to move it, but I was just talking to my coach, and my coach was just trying to tell me it was fine, trying to tell me to relax. My teammates were all like scared and stuff, and he's like, yells at them to go just do conditioning and relax. Or not relax, just go to conditioning, leave me alone. And they're all just like scared for me and stuff. But yeah, it's like in a lot of pain. I want to move it. They're telling me not to, my coaches. And I'm just talking to them, stuff. And then the ambulance finally arrived. And when they arrive, I don't know, they're just checking on my knee. They think it's dislocated. Watch my 2 little brothers, and then I also have an older sister. But my dad came, and that meant a lot to me. 2 little brothers, but instead my older sister was watching over my little brothers. They're like telling me not to move my leg and stuff on my knee to stop the inflammation or something like that. And then they put me on like the bed. They took me out, and I was in like the back of the ambulance for the first time, and I was just trying to be positive. I was saying bye to everyone, and when I got in the truck, I was trying to be positive and stuff, and I was like, wow, I've never seen the inside of this, but like in the inside, I was just completely disappointed, and on the outside, I was kind of like trying to make it a good thing, but I was still really sad and with me. And once we got to the place, we had to take x-rays, which were the most painful thing ever, because like I had to move my leg, and they tell me that it's not broken and it's just a bruise. And when they tell me that, since my phone was blowing up in the hospital the whole time, because the girl posted the Be Real and everyone just knew. My phone's blowing up, everyone's asking me if I'm okay. I'm texting like so many people. And once they tell me that's not broken and that's a bruise, I'm texting everyone that it's not broken, it's just a bruise. And I had this one friend, Ash. He's been in a couple of my videos. He's like, how is it bruised? Like, you didn't hit it on anything. It's like, I don't know, man, but I was just taking their word for it. My mom also seems suspicious about it, so she scheduled an ortho appointment afterwards for the next day to really see, because my mom just was not believing that it's a bruise because I didn't hit it or anything. And so once we do that, we're kind of just chilling still for a little bit. They gave me like this little brace that did absolutely nothing, but we'll get to that. It was very bad. My dad comes to pick me up, and I'm literally just laying down in the back 2 seats because I can't bend my leg. I can't sit normally, so I'm just literally just laying down on the back 2 seats like it's a bed. And we had to I wasn't buckled or anything. It was kind of scary, but it was also kind of fun. And after that, we get to the house, and my room's upstairs. So my dad had to fireman carry me upstairs to make sure my leg didn't hit anything. Put me in my bed. I was just chilling for the rest of the night. I was still really scared, just upset. And that night was miserable because that brace did absolutely nothing that they gave me. I didn't really get much sleep, at all. And I was just in pain the whole night. But once morning came, my mom took me to the ortho. And when we got to the ortho, I was able to sit normally in the seat, by the way, because it was like an hour away from my house. So when we got to the ortho, he's checking out my knees, this brace is not doing anything for you. And he tried to see if I could walk, and I could a little bit. I'm still in a lot of pain. And I could walk a little bit. And he's already he's a great doctor. Shout out to you, bro. Dr. Koenig. He's already able to tell what my injury is. And he didn't tell me, but he was yeah, I have a good idea what it is. We go to take x-rays, a little less painful, but still really painful. He's I didn't know this till after, but he asked my mom what are your thoughts on surgery? It's he basically already knew the injury. And so once we come back into the room and see the x-rays, I'm apparently really lucky, but also unlucky at the same time. So basically, the reason why they thought it was a dislocated knee is because if you look at the x-ray, the break is right by my knee. And it just was really swollen by my knee. But that's a really bad thing because it's right on my growth plate, and I'll either need surgery to for screws and put it back together, or I can just put pressure on my knee and it will just go back together naturally from the pressure. So we chose that one, and he said usually the break goes up into the knee, but luckily it didn't, because that would be a whole different problem. So I'm pretty lucky that didn't happen. And when we go back home, he puts a cast on. I got a purple cast, and I surprised my teammates later that night at gym. Everyone's super excited, hugging me. And it was just devastating. I couldn't practice for a while. But yeah, it was a struggle for that next month. Halloween, I was in that cast. By Halloween, I was kind of able to walk, but I was waddling, because I couldn't bend my leg. I was in a straight full leg cast. And then yeah, Halloween came, and we go to the doctor again, and I get a brace. And literally the day after I get my brace, I'm going to a pool party because I can go in water now, which was amazing. Things were easier. So basically what it was I made a video on this before, but I was able to move my leg now, and that was insane. Huge progress. And I was able to start practicing a little more and more and more and more each day, each week, each month. Life was getting a little bit easier, and once I got rid of the brace, I was fully ready to go. No, not actually. Walking was still a struggle. I had to go to physical therapy a lot. I had to just do so much physical therapy, at home, at school, at gym, everywhere. I was only focused on trying to strengthen this leg so that I can be tumbling again. because I love tumbling. Season is coming up. My first meet was at Stanford Open, which I actually have a video about, which you guys should go check out. It was my first meet after my leg injury, and that went pretty well. I only competed like 3 events. I was gonna do 4, but my high bar grip was practically ripped, so it was just a safer idea to not compete. I went to a couple more meets. I'm learning how to run again and do vault floor a little bit as well. And once states comes, I'm like, I want to make nationals. And so I start working so hard. I'm like, or it wasn't when states came, it was when states was coming up, and the idea of me competing during states was actually going to be possible. We're like, well, let's try and make nationals, which you have to do 12 routines. You have to do 6 on one day for your optional and 6 on one day for another day for your technical sequence. So I had to do 12 routines, and that's just a lot on my knee. And what I was thinking was, if it's not my knee that's hurting, push through it. Because I was trying to do anything to make nationals. I made nationals last year. I was like, I'm going to do it again. But my heels were hurting really bad, and it's something that I should have listened to. It was hurting really bad at regionals. So we're at regionals now, and I have to do my TS routines. I do my TS routines. I'm pretty happy with the results, and now it's just all up to my optional routine to see if I can actually make nationals. And if I made nationals, that would make me really, really happy. And once the day for optional, the optional day came, I was in more pain in my heels than ever. This will go into a part 2, which led into my next injury. Adventure that I had to go through to get this skill. Here, I was just starting to get comfortable with the skill. You're probably wondering, why are my feet separating when I go? Well, it's actually just because I'm scared, because this skill isn't really a hard skill to do. It's just try to do with every single rep during every single practice. I had to feel comfortable. I start to swing higher back so that I can get more momentum in the front. Like on this one, I go from handstand, which is actually some progress, which helps me get higher. And that one was way better. You can see I was almost in handstand. With my teammates telling me that last one was good, I get back on and I try again, getting even closer and actually staying on in handstand, which made me really, really happy. But the job's not done yet. I can't just do one and say I have the skill to work and do more than just 1, 5, 3. And it will take multiple of days. It's not just I do it once and I'll make it every single time, but there's always mistakes that happen and sometimes a setback that I just hated. But with this next day coming, and I actually felt like that I really understood the skill. Things were really good. Making my first one almost, but kind of loosened up at the end. Then on this next one, I do it pretty good, but I still break my form and I still stay on. But for this next one, it was probably my best one yet. I finished in handstand almost perfectly. It was really good. I did a pirouette after as well. And then I did another one just to be safe and to do the skill again. And I make it. This one also being really good. This made me so happy. I get up and do it again. Doing it also pretty good. I get up and I do it again. I'm trying to make it as possible, like really good as possible as well. So I just keep going as much as I can and doing it the best I can every single time. And that is how I learned Stutz in less than a month. So this video talks about my shin injury. This video talks about me not having a cast anymore. And this video talks about me coming back. And all these other videos are talking about me competing again. But that was all just for me to get injured again. Let me break it down for you. The second last event during regionals was floor. And on my first pass, I feel something snap in my foot. That's when I start hopping off the floor over to my coach. He calls over the medic, and then the medic puts some ice on my heel. They thought that it was a torn Achilles, and we left the meet to go to the doctor. And once we got to the doctors for the x-rays, we saw that my heel was completely snapped in half. looking like this. Now, once that happened, and since we were in Arizona for the meet and we weren't actually home, we had to go to a doctor that we were unfamiliar with. And they said that we needed emergency surgery because the bone was sticking out of my foot. I know, kind of disgusting. Now, they said since I actually had like 2 cookies before and you can't eat before surgery, they said that they were going to keep me overnight and we were going to miss our flight to go back home. But the best happened and they were able to give me surgery that day and we didn't have to stay overnight at the doctor's. Then we were able to go back to our hotel and I surprised my friends while they were at the pool. When I got out from the doctor, they put me in this splint right here and it wasn't very comfortable. And luckily we had a doctor's appointment scheduled for when I get home, so we'd hopefully get a cast. But wait. It didn't go that easy. In the airport, I was in a wheelchair and the security was not buying it. So you know how in the airport you have to go through the security? They had to scan my foot 376 million times before they let us go. And also, there's screws in my feet. Now, we can finally go back home and I kind of just enjoy being home again. And then it's finally time for the doctor's appointment on Monday. This doctor's appointment was actually pretty helpful because you see, when I was doing floor, both of my heels were hurting me really bad. But weirdly, the left one was hurting after the right one was hurting. And the right one was hurting for like a month before the left one, but the left one broke. Confusing, right? So my mom was worried about that. And when we went to the doctor on Monday, we got an x-ray on the other foot. And actually, my other foot is also fractured. It's building up the same thing, and it would have been terrible if both of them snapped at the same time. But yeah, out of that splint and a new cast, I chose black. Then that same day, I went to the gym and surprised my friends. It was really fun. They all signed my cast. Now, you guys are probably wondering, how do you snap your heel in half? Now, apparently, my Achilles were too tight, and it like pulled on my heel and then it snapped, which sounds pretty confusing. So let's break it down a little bit more. Basically, the Achilles tendons, they were like really tight, and instead of the Achilles ripping, it ripped my heel in half to make that masterpiece. I know, right? Very awesome. Alright, that's basically it for now. I have 4 more weeks when recording this video till my next doctor's appointment, and I'm actually gonna get my cast off then and no boot after that, so I can walk again. But the only thing is, I'm probably gonna have to take like 2 months off of gymnastics afterwards still for PT so that I don't break anything else or re-injure my injury. And also keep in mind, the other foot is also fractured, so I'm limited to way less things. I did 1,000 push-ups and absolutely regretted it. Stick around to the end because I will be explaining everything that happened and if you should try out this challenge yourself. You're probably wondering why I decided to do 1,000 push-ups. Well, it's actually because I wanted to do my first live stream and I wanted it to be something special. So I decided to do 1,000 push-ups. And this live stream was recorded around like 4 to 5 months ago. And I decided to make this video because who wants to watch someone be in pain and doing push-ups for like almost 2 hours with no cuts or anything? That is extremely boring. So that's why I made this video to entertain you guys. Alright, to start off, I'm going to talk about why I regretted it. Well, I actually regretted it because it kind of sucked when I was doing it. And I also was so sore afterward, couldn't do gymnastics for a whole week. Yeah, it was crazy and my triceps couldn't handle anymore.
Now, at the time, they were really tight, and I didn't really think I would be that sore, but I literally couldn't even do pommel, which is this event right here. And I don't even remember what other events I weren't able to do, but it was crazy soreness. Now for the second reason. It was a lot harder than it should have been because I just came back from a week vacation with my family, so I kind of took a break from working out, so it was kind of a lot harder than it should have been. Now I'm going to be walking you guys through the challenge and how it affected me. My idea to start off the challenge was to do as much as I can for the first couple of push-ups, and then from there do sets of 10 all the way till I was at 1,000. And that did not happen. When I did as much push-ups as possible, I ended up with doing 35. Embarrassing, I know. It's because of that vacation, trust me. And then from there, I tried to do sets of 10, and I kind of breezed through the first 100 pretty easily. It was once I started getting to like the 200s, like after that, it was just, since 1,000 is a lot, sometimes I almost lost count. Throughout the challenge, it was very difficult, and I kept realizing that this was going to be a lot harder and longer than I thought. Now, I got to a point where I had to start doing sets of 5 push-ups, and even that was challenging. Sometimes I would do 1 push-up, 2 push-ups, 3 push-ups, not even 5. That last 100 push-ups was the longest and hardest thing I've ever done. Now, should you try this challenge and do 1,000 push-ups? No. It is not worth it. I would say do 100 because 1,000 is unnecessary and it's probably not going to do as much as you think. Now, when your muscles are sore, it does mean that you're getting stronger, but being sore for a whole week straight is not fun. And I don't even see much bigger of a difference in me. I don't think I got stronger. I think it just ruined that next week. So, should you try the challenge? No. What were the results? Not much. So, yeah, that's all I have to say about the challenge where I did 1,000 push-ups. It sucked, and I'm probably never going to do that again.
These are my top 3 least favorite things about gymnastics, starting with number 1. Chalk getting in my eye. Now let's reset a little bit so that you understand. Sometimes we're going on like rings, high bar, weights, and that's foam skills. We do our skills into the foam pit, and there are little pieces of foam. Now for number 2. This one also has to do with the chalk. Now, when you wash your hands after having chalk on your hands or like after practice, you wash your hands with soap and water and you look at your hands and you think, but then a couple minutes later, the chalk, it just reappeared. It's literally just there again, and it's really annoying. Now, last but not least, the third thing that is really annoying about gymnastics is that I have to explain it to almost every single person that I tell them I do gymnastics, because they think I'm doing like the girls' apparatus and stuff, and it's really cool explaining it to people about men's gymnastics. But I've been telling people about it for like my whole life, and there it is. Those are my top 3 least favorite things about gymnastics.